So, Karmela, anong ganap natin today?
So today, I feel like I need space. Dun dun dun! Hello, YouTube people. Thank you for listening. 1, 2, 3, go. Hello, YouTube people. Thank you for showing. I say. Hello, YouTube people. I'm interrupting this. Hello, YouTube people. This is Editing Karmela. I have realized that the quality of our video and yung general demeanor namin in the first place is subpar to what we usually put on screen. So this is because we both are very tired after a very long day. Pero rest assured na we're still sane during this video. So pagpasensyahan nyo na lang yung occasional na um hello, YouTube people. So, this is Editing Carmela, and I just wanted to quickly hop in before you formally started this episode to mention na yes, this episode shows a very tired, very sabog, very down energy Carmela and Chloe. So, we just want to apologize. It was recorded after a very long day. And yeah, rest assured we're still sane dito sa episode na to, and all our views are concurrent dun sa aming usual na iniisip and our line of thinking. So, please ignore yung shaky camera, yung technical difficulties, whatever, and yung pangapaggalaw-galaw ng camera. So, yun. Please enjoy your listening experience and have fun listening to or watching us on episode 2.
So, ito na naman tayo sa I Need Space na scenario
Yeah, so
natin.
it was the first time we ever fought. Was it? Yeah, it was the first time we ever seriously fought. Kasi we fight all the time about ACADS and our opinions. Pero it was the first time na, friendship over na ba to? Wala na bang
Yes,
group? Masisira na ba group
sobrang
dynamic? So,
sobrang lala nun. Imagine people like really, as in nag-aaway
almost
kasi
shouting.
yeah, and then biglang na lang may nagsabi, wait lang, I need space. Tapos nag-walk out si ate mo, girl. O, diba? Ang galing.
So, let's give them context. We met up, like the five of us met up early. I think it was early. And then we went to Coffee Bean sa may estancia while
Yes.
waiting for something. I think we were waiting for something. And then,
No,
pagdating
no,
nung...
dapat dun lang yung plan natin na
Yeah,
mag-wall.
we were walling. So for context, that's the part of the qualitative research process where you have to look at all your informant said. So lahat ng sinabi nila kailangan mong tignan. Look for common themes across informants, across age groups, across whatever yon. And then from those themes, makikita mo yung themes na yon kapag dinikit mo yung cut up statements nila literally to a wall. So you need a wall to figure
Yes.
things out. So picture crazy people walling. You know, I'ma just insert a photo of us. I think we have a photo with a wall. I have to find
I
that.
have videos.
Okay, so while we're talking, let's just show the montage kung anong itsura nun. Just
Here,
send the
yes.
videos
Basta
to me.
imagine
5
12
people.
hours of work.
Over
5, yeah.
almost 24 hours of work. We had food. Hindi naman kami gutom. So we were fed well. Thank you, Gabe, for feeding us.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Pero
Gabe's parents, for
nakaka-drain lang talaga.
feeding us. Yeah, we were using our brains nonstop since early that day. So we started in Coffee Bean sa Estancia, moved over to Gabe's house for lunch. And then we all thought, or they thought, her parents and her sister probably thought na we're gonna sleep. And then we're gonna wake up in the morning and do it again. But you know what we stupid
No.
kids did? We stayed up all night. We tried to Alam mo yung wala ng laman yung utak namin, pero we were still working just to finish
Mhm.
whatever it is we had to finish. Kasi hindi naman that weekend din yung deadline natin, di ba, for the themes.
No, but ang dami kasi.
Yeah, because that was the sem na we were back to our regular sem again. Ang bigat ng load namin with 3 majors. Or
Yup.
2 majors and 1 required elective. And it was heavy. The class literally was just heavy. Picture a ton of bricks on your back. It was that heavy. Yun talaga yung super test of wills and test of friendship na bibigay ka ba? Kasi lahat kayo under
Yeah.
pressure. And,
Yes.
you know,
Yung
at that time, pagod
how
na
much is your
kami.
patience?
And
How
yeah,
much,
how open-minded are you? Like not
yeah,
networking scam, pero gaano ka-open-minded makarinig ng opinion that's so different from yours. Because
yeah.
there were 5 of us. So it was a 5-way split. Kailangan mag-agree yung 5. Kapag
Mhm.
hindi nag-agree yung 5, the group suffers. Wala kaming themes. So hanggat merong disagreement or hanggat walang majority vote, nothing is gonna happen. So at that time, it was past 2 a.m., past 3 a.m.
Dude, that was like 4 a.m. na.
Yes,
3 ata
it
eh.
was 4 a.m. We had dinner, we had snacks. They had coffee. I don't partake because I palpitate. Everyone was tired. We had little breaks, and the little breaks we had was just to eat and drink and pee and whatever else we needed to do. So, wala kaming break. It was almost 24 hours with the same set of people. Same voices, same faces. You get tired of it so quickly in the same space. Like, there's only
Mhm.
so many places you can, go to that
Move
space.
around and like
And
wiggle
then,
wiggle.
yeah, from the more open space, yung parang living room area ni Gabe, we went into her room. So it was a more confined space with more walls and more, no, put that there.
Yeah.
Kasi you have to decide which part sa wall magpupunta yung ano. Tapos, but this is what I see from this. No, this is what I see. You're not gonna say, no, you're wrong. Pero parang ganon. Parang ganon yung lumalabas.
Yeah.
Calling Eugene, no, you're wrong. But yeah, anyway, back to the
Well,
I need space thing. It was almost sunrise or malapit ng mag-sunrise. So it's what, 4, 5 a.m. We've had zero sleep, zero rest. We were so mentally and physically fatigued. Tapos, Chloe and Leia were, making this point na, dapat ganito. And I'm like, yeah, but please explain it to me kasi hindi ko gets. And I can't go on board with something I don't get. And they thought I was telling them, pero mali, ganito dapat. And I was like, please explain it to me. Pero I think at that moment, I was just so tired it wasn't coming out right. So they kept, yeah, but this is ganto, kasi ganto yung nakikita namin. And then I was like, yeah, okay, but please explain it to me. Pero hindi ganon yung dumadating sa kanila. Hanggang sa point na para na akong hihimatayin. And I could barely breathe. Tapos umiinit na yung katawan ko. I'm like, wait, am I gonna faint? So I'm like, wait, I need space. So lumabas ako
pero
ng
hindi niya
room.
ganun sinabi. Not that way.
Yeah.
With
With more
vigor
oomph.
and like emotion.
With all the
Yeah.
taray that's inside of me, I said, wait, I need space. So, hindi ko
Yes.
alam, shook pala sila doon.
Tapos
Kasi
nag-walk
ako,
out siya.
oo, kasi feeling ko, if I stayed in the room for another minute, I'm gonna faint. So, I'm like, I can't make them watch me faint. They're gonna panic. Hindi na makapag-work. So, I just went outside where it's cooler and there's more air. And after like 3 minutes, bumalik din ako. We're like, okay, so ano na nangyari? What are we discussing? And we were able to resolve it. Pero that was the first time Chloe and I were almost yelling at each other because Chloe's the peacemaker ng group. Backup siya ni Leia. Kami ni Leia, nag-aaway kami ni Leia. At that point in time, Eugene and Gabe were like, whoops,
Mhm.
labas kami dito. Bala kayo dyan. So,
What?
hindi pa sila nakikiano. And I'm like, I just didn't get it. Hindi ko alam na nag-aaway na pala kami. Hindi rin nila alam na nag-aaway na pala kami.
Actually, ako rin. Hindi ko rin alam na nag-aaway na pala
Oo.
tayo.
Pero na-resolve din naman kasi pare-pareho tayo ng sinasabi pero hindi lang natin naiintindihan
Yeah.
yung isa't isa kasi we were so tired na sobrang bagal na nung
Yeah.
processing natin. So yeah,
And that paper was
that
sobrang
paper was
solid.
fire. We should probably submit that to a journal. Like a
We
very
should. Like all our papers
I don't
from
think
that semester.
from that
Unless you want to
sem.
unless you want to rewrite 101.
No, I don't wanna rewrite 101. I think pupwede lang siya for UP students. So at that point, I hit almost my breaking point. Muntik na kaming mag-FO nang hindi sinasadya over something so petty, and it was petty now, but at that time it wasn't petty because it was the future of the group's grade. So all stakes just went up. So
Yeah.
ayun, I think that was the first and last time we ever fought like that.
Yeah, like super intense level. Because we always argue all the time.
Yeah, but like our arguments are almost like so intellectual show-off-ish. Parang ganon.
Yeah,
Na,
pang matalino.
yeah, but this theory
This is so,
says, parang ganon yung
sorry
argument na,
na, hindi po talaga kami mayabang. We're humble people. Grabe, saying that is mayabang. Ay, bala na. Basta yun.
I think, kami, kaya lang namin gawin yun to people who know us well. Kasi we don't wanna be perceived na, ikaw kasi sobrang conflict avoidant mo. And I'm like, yes, conflict. Yes, we like her.
Sa depende. If super close na kita, ayun, ako pa magbe-bring up ng conflict.
Yeah.
Please awayin mo ako.
Like, gusto ko ng kaaway today. Are you G? Parang ganon.
Yes, that's, lalo na pag Hell Week, that's my favorite word of the week. Actually,
Alin?
of that period. Yung, awayin mo ako please, or gusto ko ng kaaway. Hindi. That's the only thing that I will say. Ayun, pag mo ba awayin? Sige na. Ganon. Yeah.
So,
Leia can attest.
ayun. So, parang, since we've mentioned yung conflict, our point of conflict, the one and only point of conflict that almost ended the friendship, ikaw ba? I mean, we've mentioned you're an avoidant person when it comes to conflict. So, what do you do kapag you get into a conflict with someone?
Una-una, mag-rant ako sa inyo. Like, to my friends. And like, ilalabas ko lahat ng galit ko. Like, my deep head thoughts to someone else. And then, inhale. And then, approach it like, in a way.
Ikaw confront mo? Di
No.
nga.
No, confront in my way. Di pa ako tapos.
Which
confront
means?
in my way. AKA, okay, sige. Or, sige, ano pa ba? Or, okay. Basta, everything in between okay and okay.
Hindi, ganito si Chloe pag magko-confront siya. Hi, baka pwedeng mag-contribute po tayo kasi, we need your help. Can you maybe do this? Yeah, thank you so much. Ganun siya. Like, just raise my pitch and energy levels times 10. Ganun si Chloe. Hindi siya nagko-confront. It's not a confrontation if you don't let them know, galit na ako. So, in our private group chat, she's gonna say, galit na ako, hindi na magko-contribute to, nakakainis, ganyan, blah, 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 blah. Tapos, pagdating dun sa actual group chat, hi guys, so we made this na, dagdag na lang kayo when you can. Thank you so much. Kung pandemic yun, keep safe. May ganon.
Kaya nga, don't be like me. That's why we have to set our limits. Tao lang naman tayo. So, it's okay to have this. Mo coming from me pa talaga, pero swear to God talaga, working on it po. Slowly.
Ayun.
Like, in my way.
So, before we go there, describe muna natin, like tayo as people, ano bang limits natin? Like, hard limits. As in, once you go through, it's a big no. Let's start with friends. Ano ba limits mo with friends? Do you even have limits with friends?
Actually, sobrang forgiving and like understanding ko sa friends ko. Lalo na if kilala ko na sila for a very long time. Pero there's
She's an accommodator, everybody. Very accommodator.
So bad.
Yeah, but it
Pero
is.
there's certain things naman na ayoko rin i-tolerate sa mga kaibigan ko. Yes, kukonsintihin kita, but at the same time, pag nakikita ko ng parang mali na to, or like parang mali na yung ginagawa mo, ayun na. As in, isa-start ko na siyang i-point out in a my way. Honestly, totoo lang, what do you mean by limits? Kasi,
ako,
as a friend, talagang,
for me,
sige, ikaw muna, baka magka-idea ako.
These are things that are not okay for them to do. So, number 1, hard limit sa akin is deciding stuff for me. I mean, I always say, please decide stuff for me as an indecisive person. Pero if like, pag wala kang consent, tapos ipinasok ka, ayaw ko yung pinapasok ako sa bagay na hindi ko alam or hindi ako aware. Kasi ang hirap Kunwari, if volunteer ka for something, that's not cool with me. Other stuff, wala naman. Wala ko masyadong limits with friends, I'm pretty much okay with a lot of stuff. Pero yun, consent is a lot of So, at one point, here's another story. I had friends who thought it was funny to iniiwan kong bukas yung laptop ko when I go to the bathroom, 'di ba? I don't lock it. I don't do anything. When I was in my previous degree program, some people decided it was funny to post on Facebook, on my Facebook account, using my laptop. And then I don't
Oh my God.
exactly remember what they posted, but it was not nice.
Mhm.
It was funny for us, pero
Mhm.
here's the thing, my parents and everyone can see my Facebook. And
Mhm.
sobrang monitored ng Facebook content ko. Like,
Mhm.
if my parents tell me, I don't like what you posted, take it down. I have to take it down. So,
Mhm.
I didn't know what was
Yeah.
happening. My mom called me out of the blue, very mad na, ano ba na naman yung
Mhm.
pinopost mo sa Facebook? Ano na naman yan? Ganyan, ganyan, ganyan. And I'm like, I didn't post anything. I barely post on Facebook. And I was so confused. Tapos tawa ng tawa yung mga nasa likod ko and I'm panicking while, my mom was basically giving me the third degree. Kulang na lang palayasin niya ata ako. Parang ganun yung feeling at the time.
Mhm.
Apparently, people posted using my Facebook and then hid it from me. So, it was posted, hindi ko nakikitang pinost.
Oh
So,
my
kahit
God.
pumunta akong timeline, hindi ko makikita.
Yeah.
Until I started seeing a lot of likes from that post, which I never remembered posting. And my mom was so mad. My dad was so mad. I don't remember what the
Oo.
post is now because it was like 5, 6 years ago. But that happened without my
Yeah.
consent. And I'm like, aren't we taught privacy? Aren't we taught responsible, use of machines
Yes.
as computer science students? And
Yes.
sobrang na-violate yung privacy ko
Yeah.
noon and na-violate yung trust ko because it was orgmates.
Mhm.
Sobrang
Mhm.
hindi sila worth it as friends. Sobrang toxic nila as friends and I did not
Mhm.
at all. Like, no, I don't even know why we were friends in the first place. And we don't talk now. I guess that's that. So for me, yun lang yung hard limit ko is consent with everything. I'm mostly G
Okay.
with anything. But like
I see.
if I don't do something, it's because of a deep reason and a deep thought. I don't do a lot of things impulsively. And for people to take away
Mhm.
that consent, parang it's such a big
Yeah.
violation.
Mhm.
Ikaw
Yeah.
ba? Have you finally thought of
Okay.
your limit?
Ako, is if may nangyayari sa'yo, tell me. As in like, kahit sabihin mo na I'm at this, parang it's something about lying also, about their situation or if ayaw mo ko kasama. If ayaw mo, sabihin mo na lang sa akin. Kasi ako, as in sobrang, I really, really give importance to my friends. As in, mahal ko talaga yung kaibigan ko. So for them, to like yung bigla na lang mawawala, tapos hindi man sila nag-explain or nagsabi lang siya na, like, I know it's hard na sabihin yun. Dapat ikaw nahihiya sa akin. As in, yun yung pinakaya ko. Like, nahihiya kayo sa akin. Like, we're friends in the first place. Bakit ka mahihiya sa akin? Tapos sa akin pa talaga. Alam mo yun? So,
Yeah.
kasi, as an observant person, sobrang, napapansin ko na yun sa mannerism mo or how you change. Parang, paano ka mag-reply? Ganon. So, parang, ayoko yung talagang nagsisinungaling ka sa akin. Ito pa, yung parang,
What's a better
yung
word of
nagsasabi ka
putting
ng
that?
sige, huwag na lang natin sabihin yon. Basta.
Basta
Anyways, ayun
not
nga, something
honoring
about lying.
commitments. Yun.
Ayun, yes. Yun din, not honoring commitments. Well, when college started, medyo ako rin at fault na ganon. But I'm really, sobrang marami lang talagang wrong time na nangyayari sa life ko na gusto ko kasing to make time for everything. So, minsan, pagka nag-overlap sila na hindi ko sinasadya,
Mhm.
kasi parang bawal to, tapos biglang break, tapos meron palang isa na naman. So, sometimes, isang tao lang ako, hindi ko kayang time or like mabigyan ng oras. So, ayun.
So, with family, ang hard limit ko sa family yung kapag kumukuha ng gamit ko na hindi nagpapaalam. Papahiram ko naman, but I would like to know. Kasi yung minsan kapag kailangan ko, tapos malalaman ko ginagamit pala. Tapos ako, as common courtesy, I make it a point na if I need to borrow something from you, I'd inform you first, tapos kukunin ko. Kahit na alam kong sasabihin mo sa akin na kukunin mo na lang. Sa akin yun talaga. And, kung kukunin mo or kung gagawin gagamitin mo yung gamit ko, lalo na kung hindi ko alam, ibalik mo. Kasi sobrang, ang hirap, ang laki pa man din ng bahay, like, ang hirap maghanap. Alang hanapin ko or pasukin ko lahat ng kwarto ng bahay para lang tanungin na kanino yung ganto ko. So, yun talaga yung biggest pet peeve ko na hanggang ngayon hindi pa rin nila magets. Like, hi Kay, kung pinapanood mo or nakikinig ka na dapat nakikinig ka, ibalik mo yung extension ko kung saan mo kinuha. Ayun. Yun lang naman yung point ko. Kasi, hindi naman ako madamot sa gamit. Hindi rin ako madamot sa pera. Hindi ako madamot sa anything. Pero, well, besides chocolate. Pero, kung kukunin mo or kailangan mo, manghingi ka. Kasi mas okay sa akin yun. Or magsabi ka sa akin. Kesa yung either malalaman ko sa iba or pag kailangan ko, hindi ko na mahanap. So, yun. Yun yung biggest thing for me.
For family, ngayon ko lang na-realize nung iniisip ko tong hard limit na is it bad na I don't really set limits? Oh my God, see, this podcast talaga is for you teaching me things that I should have, but I don't.
I think, dapat naman kasi talaga wala tayong masyadong hard
Pero,
limits
wait
with
lang,
family. I think that's their family
Well, I mean with everything. Yeah. Pero I get what you mean. Lalo lang sa friends din kanina, nahirapan ako kasi alam
You're
mo
open
naman
to everyone
na pasensya ko about an
Mm-mm.
individual.
As in, hindi ko gets. Feeling ko yung pasensya mo malaki pa sa Earth. Mga size ng Jupiter, ganun. Kahit na ang deserve niya pebble lang.
Lol. Kaya nga, kapag may tao talaga akong kinakainisan, girl, I
Alam
hate you to
mong-
the bone talaga. At you did.
Yeah, and pag ikaw na yung nainis, next level na yung ginawa niya. Yun yung,
So,
that was my biggest takeaway. So, kapag sinabi ko sa friend group natin na, si Chloe inis kay ganito, like, they know it's serious.
Yeah, totoo. So, with family, for me, siguro same as you rin, parang magpaalam ka. Kasi bibigyan ko naman kayo. As in, every time I have food, I have like something, parati akong nag-o-offer to share. And pagkagamit ko rin naman, papahiram ko naman yan. Pero parang sa sobrang sanay ko na, like, I just put it there in the open. Tapos pag may nawala, meron bang nakakita ng ano ko? Ganon. So,
Ang fun.
wala. Ganyan lang rin.
Hindi, buti nga ikaw,
Free for
ano
all.
lang Ikaw, meron bang nakakita ng ano ko? Sabi ko, sinong kumuha ng ganito? Sanabi nang magsasabi kayo kapag hihiram. Okay, balik niyo sa pinagkuharan mo, tas ang haba na niyan. Tapos i-involve ko pa yung parentals para masaya. Para yung parentals magalit din.
Oh my gosh. Girl, parang gusto mo talaga ng war, no?
I like conflict. I like instigating conflict. What can I say?
See, this how opposite we are.
Wait
Karmela's
lang.
like, yes.
I will put a disclaimer. I like instigating small conflicts. Ayoko nang kasing laki ng conflict ng COVID or ng conflict ng DDS versus Dilawan. So, small conflicts lang tayo, ha?
Yeah, yung mga chill lang na kayang pag-usapan. Mga ganon.
Yeah. Next.
Co-workers.
With co-workers, we haven't had
co-workers siguro parang org, ganon, or like groupmates.
Sige, let's lump all that together.
Yeah.
Co-workers, orgmates, groupmates. So, in our internship, because we interned at the same place, in the same department, in the same office.
Na magkatabi po kami.
It's your fault. Kasi you told me I already reserved you a chair. Doon, tabi tayo. I'm like, okay. Hindi ko naman alam na malamig pala doon. So, noted. Thank you for giving me, Eskimo vibes every day in the office. Pero, so, we interned at the same place and everyone was nice. Everyone was professional. It was a really nice working condition. Anyway, I don't really have limits masyado with co-workers.
Well, parang feeling ko, sige.
I have a big but. But, okay lang sa akin personalin mo ko. Okay lang sa akin lahat ng yun, pero pagtrabaho. So, wag mo akong pa-personalin kung hindi mo kayang mag-deliver.
Yeah.
And I think I said this in episode 0.
I get you. Ganyan yun. Siguro, parang wala pa tayong
that much work experience in a professional setting. Yeah.
Kaya, ang work lang na mapapertain namin is like org work or like any group work in general.
Ay, eto pa. I have another limit for the both of us.
What?
Kung manggo-ghost ka, mag-message ka muna para informed ka
Yes. Like, kahit the day after, like, sige, kung ngayon, di mo talaga kaya. Pero like, the next day naman,
magtanong ka kung anong pwede mong gawin.
Yeah. Or like, mag-sorry ka lang. Kahit di ka mag-explain, magsabi ka lang, sorry, ngayon lang, but I'm here. Ganun. Alam mo yun?
But the thing is, feeling ko ayoko rin yung pag sobrang multiple times na no explanation biglang mawawala tapos sorry lang without. Bakit ilang beses na
syempre.
nangyari?
Yeah. Kasi parang in the first place, may responsibilidad ka. Like, hindi lang kung, like, sorry, not sorry, how how bigat man yun. Pero kasi, may responsibility ka rin doon. So,
But here's the
kailangan mo rin
thing.
siyang,
From all the experiences I've had with you in a group or in a work setting, you always ask, kaya mo bang gawin to? Or who would like to do this and they volunteer. So there's a mutual agreement. There's a social contract. If you wanna be all social science about it, there's a social contract na nag-agree ka or nagpresenta ka tapos biglang hindi mo pala kayang mag-deliver. So please let us know. It's common courtesy.
yeah,
It's not that hard to, look up my messenger profile or kung nahiya ka magsabi sa GC and sabihin,
yeah,
hi, I can't contribute tonight. I have this. I'll bawi on
exactly,
this time. Sobrang dali nun. So,
true,
really, if you wanna be friends with me, if you want me to love you forever, just do your job well and communicate. Sobrang
yeah,
dali kong
actually,
i-please in that aspect. Lalo na si Chloe, sus ko, kahit nga basura ka ng groupmate, di ka i-confront eh.
stop
And
it.
that's an episode for another day.
Yes, pero ako rin, yan, ayoko, lalo na pag trabaho, gusto ko kung trabahong usapan, huwag mo
Mhm.
isasama yung, like, yes, we're friends, but if we're talking about
Ayun
work,
pa, yung yes, we're friends when it comes to work, yung akala nila okay lang na bigla kang mawawala or akala nila okay lang na ikaw yung gumawa ng
no.
trabaho nila because you're friends.
Girl, okay lang. Sabihan mo ko ng mangyayari sa'yo para at least di ako magugulat na, like, oh my gosh, I need to do your work also, which is fine if you're going to tell it to me. Like, magsabi ka man lang. Kasi, so I can pace myself.
And that's
I
where I
can,
disagree. It's not
really?
fine if you do other people's work without them giving a really good reason why.
Yeah, I agree with that naman.
And
Pero
if
ano yun?
ito yung mga example ng unacceptable reason. I have other commitments na hindi mo sinabi prior to accepting the
Yes,
task.
okay. I agree naman. Yung mga
I
ganyan,
have a
yes.
family outing.
Ay,
Cause we've had groupmates na they bring their laptop on a family vacation and work. Alam mo yung turista na sila pero nagko-contribute pa sa
yeah,
phone.
true.
That's happened. Like shout out to you, Gabe. Props for
Yeah.
responsibility.
Or you can, kung alam mo nang aalis ka, girl,
Do
responsibility
your
mo,
work
do your
ahead of
work.
time. Or
Exactly.
inform the group so the group can adjust. And it's not the day before, it's not the morning during, it's at least 3 days ahead of time. Dapat nga
Sabi
a
ko nga,
week
1
eh.
week eh.
Pero let's be kind and give them 3 days. Magre-rebrand ako, mabait na ako ngayon.
Kunyari lang yan, kasi today, medyo
Naantok na
pagod na,
kasi ako eh, oo.
kaya mabait na siya. So,
Mm-mm.
ayun. Tsaka, syempre, you have to set this limit din. Kasi, ikaw din mapapagod eh. Don't be like, oh my God, I've been
Don't
in this
be like
situation.
Chloe.
Yes,
I repeat,
countless times.
Yeah. Do not be like Chloe. I
Ako
repeat,
nagsasabi sa inyo.
for full emphasis, huwag tularan si Sarah Elika
Ah,
Chloe Ira Bulan from Quezon City.
yes po, please. As in, nung high school, I feel so bad about myself. Pero, at
She's
saka,
learning.
it's not a situation you want to be in. Kasi ang hirap umalis.
And
Lalo na if
here's the
you're,
thing, if sinanay mo yung sarili mo na you always settle na, okay, ako na lang yung gagawa ng trabaho. Gusto ko mag-isip ng mas magandang term, but I'm sorry. Here's my raw term for
okay.
people like that. If gusto mong malabel na pushover, gagawin kang pushover until the end of your life. Hanggang sa magpe-pension ka na, sasabihin sa'yo, pwede bang utangin yung pension mo? Kasi ang dami kong ganito eh, tas iiyak-iyak ng fake, tas malalaman mo, ginastos lang niya for, ano ba ginagastos ng mga matanda today? A lawnmower, ganon.
Yeah.
Yung mga hindi naman kailangan bagay. Kasi if you let yourself be a pushover this early in your life, sobrang hirap na lumabas sa ganyang frame of mind. Pag nasanay ka na you get taken advantage of, who's to say na baka next time hindi pera na yung kunin? Or, mabudol-budol ka na. Kasi yung mga taong mababa yung emotional quotient for that. Nabigyan ako ng energy bigla eh. Kasi I'm so frustrated na ang daming ganyang tao sa mundo. Pero if masanay ka na you're settling or oo ka na lang ng oo, if you can't take a stand, get out. Get the hell out.
Yeah.
There's no place in this world for people who are spineless fish.
Yeah. Totoo naman. Pero, here's the thing about me though. Pag sa work talaga, kasi nga, it's me and my patience patience with people about judging people kasi hindi ko alam, basta hindi ko alam kung saan siya nagsimula, pero I have a like fear of misjudging people.
Judger po talaga si Chloe.
And I hate hating on people. Kaya ang dami kong patience per person. Ganyan.
Yeah,
pero,
but you also have
pero
to
one
know
thing about
what's expected of people. You also know what's due to you. Na hindi mo hahayaan na, okay, sige, bigyan pa natin ng isang chance. Like, remember when I said na maybe 1, 2, 3 times is forgivable. Pero kung chronic, kung paulit-ulit na, like, karapat dapat pa bang bigyan ng chance yun?
Yeah, totoo naman. Also, here's the thing about me. Ayokong nalulugi. Lalo na kapag inaaway ako ng mga cashier. Kasi alam kong mabait ako sa'yo eh. So, pagka sinimulan mo na akong tarayan for unknown reason, girl, I can also put my eyebrow up and like
hindi ko pa
you.
nakikitang magtaray ka to anyone in college like that. I haven't seen that
Wala
yet.
pa.
So I'm so excited to see that.
Oh my gosh, pag nagtaray ako talaga, una mag-approach ako ng mabait. Like, hi, yeah. Tapos pag tinarayan mo ako, I'll be like, sige, ano nga. Ganun na ako.
Pero yung sige ano nga niya, hindi mo malalaman na tinatarayan mo siya because she just looks like she's smiling all the freaking time.
Ay, hindi girl. Pag ako talaga nagtaray sa ibang person, medyo
kasing
parang...
levels ko ba o level ni Lea? Ganong level ba? Or parang Eugene levels na hindi mo nahalatang tinatarayan ka na? Pero pag
siguro
nagtaray,
parang,
biglang boom.
Parang, oo, ganon. Parang kayo ni Lea, pero hindi naman that extreme level. Basta pag nainis lang talaga ako.
Hindi ganun kakita sa muka.
Medyo kita ng onte, pero hindi same level as you guys. Pero ayun. Kasi nga, ayoko talagang nalulugi.
It's not our fault that our faces are made like this. Like, there's a term for these faces that we don't wanna say. Years ago, I found out, basta in college ko lang nalaman na I have that face. So, I'm like, okay. Hindi ako informed na mukha akong mataray. So, yun. Anyway.
So, ayun. Anyway, yun nga. So, it's fine if you wanna feel na ayaw mong parang pinupush around ka lang, maging pushover, basically. Okay lang yun. Kasi you have that right. Like, tao ka rin naman and you have these rights. And if you wanna be, if you wanna really make the most out of everything.
I'm so sad na I don't have a mirror here so I can put it to the camera. I'm like, please say it to yourself first.
Oy, like, except talaga sa work, when it involves work and people, especially people I know, sobrang minsan, kasi parati ko silang nakikita. That's why as much as possible, I don't want to make things awkward. Kaya,
here's the thing though, you have to be okay with losing friends because you hate the way they work. Kasi, friend ka ba talaga kung hindi mo kayang sabihin sa kanila na, hey, your work is subpar, your attendance is non-existent, and you have not contributed a single thing since the start of the project. I love you as a friend, but I felt like you deserve to know.
Totoo naman. Pero feeling ko, if like, friend ko yon, hindi ko sasabihin right now. Pero siguro maybe in the future, if inulit niya. Pero if like,
paano kung chronic na?
If nakakausap ngayon lang kasi parang matagal pa kitang makaka-work, parang ayoko nga kasing yung work. Yung parang bigla ka na lang talaga mawala completely. So like, I avoid that in the awkward situation. And yung nakikita ko siya. So, pero pag tapos na lahat, wala na, goodbye. I won't even talk to you ever again.
Ang masasabi ko lang, here's my take on it. I
Alam
disagree. Pero you have to tell him, like, I disagree. Because, like, picture this friend. I will paint a picture for our listeners. So, you've been friends since high school. Wow, sounds like a Taylor Swift lyric. Close kayo. Kilala kayo ng parents ng isa't isa. Ganon kayo ka-close. Now, feeling ko welcome kayo sa bahay ng isa't isa. And, he or she is a good friend. Pero, you have colleagues, you have orgmates, you have workmates, you have classmates, and people who barely know this person telling you, kasi alam nilang magkaibigan kayo na, hey, is he really like this? Ganto ba talaga siya? By that, I mean, picture subpar attendance, or kung may attendance man, alam mo yung parang walang kinontribute sa group meeting. Sobrang dami niyang conflicting commitments na hindi mo alam kung priority niya yung work na kinuha niya ever or not. What else can you do to describe this person? So basically, you're really close friends, but that person's work ethic is just nothing. Mas maganda pa yung work ethic ng janitor kaysa sa kanya. Ganon kalala. And
oh my gosh.
No, I'm not firing shots at them. I don't even know if the people using that stereotype, let's name it George. Hindi ko alam kung yung mga George sa mundo ay makikinig sa podcast na to. Sana makinig siya. Tas share niya sa people niya. Kasi ang dami niya kilala. Pero hanggang doon na lang, kilala. Hanggang ang daming kilala na lang na hindi naman maganda yung reputation niya. I mean, if you're gonna look at it positively, Georgia's reputation might be, Bibo Kid kasi siya. Yun yung ayoko sa lahat. Ayokong ma-brand as Bibo Kid. Kasi like, where do you get your energy from? Like, you have 20 orgs, sobrang dami mong majors, and then, besides the 20 orgs in campus, you also have like 10 orgs outside of campus. May pa-outreach program ka ganito, may pa-program kang ganyan. And I'm like, how do you ensure na you're committing equally to every single one of those? How do you ensure na you earn your keep as a so-called member of these organizations? And then, ganun ba kakapal yung mukha mo para ilagay silang lahat ng 20 sa CV mo or sa resume mo? Pampaganda. Tapos, pag tinanong naman yung character references mo, anong sasabihin nila? Oh, he's a good friend. Fun siya kasama. What about your work ethic? For me, that's why I prioritize being blunt. And honestly, I was not blunt at all pagdating ng high school. Like, I was the people pleaser. I was the pushover. I'm not even kidding. I was the pushover. I was the struggling person trying to fit in. So, I let myself be a pushover. And I realized after being a pushover for like the first half of my college life, I'm like, I don't deserve this. And it's so hard to learn how to appreciate yourself and learn how to say na, okay, this is wrong. This is my limit. This is bad. We can't cross this line ever again. Sobrang hirap because you're gonna regress back to your old self. Kasi nasanay ka na kapag importante sa'yo or friend mo, oo ka na lang kahit na mali na yung ginagawa sa'yo. But if you don't start standing up for yourself now, when are you gonna do it? Are you gonna do it when you're 60? Are you gonna do it when you're 80 and on your deathbed? Are you gonna start standing up for yourself kapag kinuha na nila lahat sa'yo? Because that almost happened to me. I almost lost everything. I almost lost my degree program, almost had to get out of UP. I lost majority of people I thought were friends. Pero I think the best way, specifically sa work situation or any professional relationship, it's okay to know what you want and it's even more important to know what you deserve. Ganun title no, knowing what you deserve.
Yes.
Pero ayun, I think I'm mostly the one passionately speaking about this kasi I've gone through it all. There was a point na na-realize ko na, okay, pinagsisiksikan ko yung sarili ko sa isang organization na ayaw naman sa akin at hindi ako ma-appreciate. And I almost kill myself bending over backwards to please people, trying to take in more work, more responsibility, just to show the cool kids na I belong. But they're not cool kids anymore and we're not kids. It's as simple as that. We're not kids. And that horrible 2-3 years of my life taught me so much more about principles and knowing to stand up for what I deserve and actually negotiating for what I'm due. Honestly, I'm gonna expose myself. I wasn't able to successfully assert for what I deserve until my last year in college. I went back over and over again like some abusive relationship. Kasi you start to miss the pain. They show you the least bit of affection and you're like, okay, this might work, but it doesn't. And until you realize na you're worth more than that, you deserve more than that, I don't really think na you're gonna have the courage to leave. Because that's the hardest thing. You're so scared of losing those people. Kaya nga, I'm not really triggered when you said na you don't want to confront them habang sure kang makakatrabaho mo pa sila or makikita mo pa sila. Pero, if you do that, kapag hindi mo na sila makikita, what's gonna be your impact? What's gonna teach them not to do it again? Because I'm telling you, that organization, I've brought so many talented people into that organization. I've guilt-tripped, begged, cajoled them to apply, and I regret it. I regret it so bad. Because I've been the indirect cause of burnout for these people. As in, ang dami sa kanila ngayon, ayaw nang ma-associate with that organization. They don't want to work for that organization anymore because it's just not right. And for an organization that preaches holistic development, they sure failed. If there is one thing you're gonna take from that long speech, it's know what you deserve and confront people who deserve it. Because unless you start asking for what you want, people won't actually give it to you. And make sure din naman na na hindi ka egotistical na, I deserve this kasi ganyan-ganyan. Huwag ka namang entitled. So, balance eh. So, make sure na you've heard both sides of the equation na narinig mo kung deserve mo ba talaga o hindi yung kung ano may hinihingi mo. And don't ask for more than you deserve. Ang masasabi ko lang, I still want you to tell that person na, George, you're not nice. As a coworker, nobody wants to work with you. They've had a bad experience working with you. So, George, if you're listening to this is me telling you that you suck. And I like you as a person. I like you as a friend. But work is work and I have a limit. I have a line. I have a delineation na we can be friends, sure. But that will not preclude me from telling you na you suck. Your work ethic sucks and you need to improve it if you want to succeed in this world. Otherwise, the only thing you've got going for you are your parents' money and your so many connections will fail in the long run. So to all the Georges out there, I hope you're listening and I hope you're waking up. I hope you're being more sensitive towards the people na nakapaligid sa inyo. Yeah, that's my portion of telling Chloe off for this episode.
Yes. Guys, ito talaga, yun talaga. Just, react on how much I am being reprimanded every episode. It's basically me teaching, parang basically ako kayo. Alam mo yun? And
Parang
just
yan
Carmela.
Parang gagawa na ako ng meme, tapos pa-viralin ko your face, and then, bakit parang kasalanan ko? Pero
Yes,
kasalanan mo
that's
talaga.
true. Yeah, true. Anyway,
Gusto mo bang
okay.
mag-rebut doon?
I agree naman. I see your point. Kasi na-experience ko naman siya. And ako yung nahihirapan.
Diba?
So if, basically talaga, wag kayo maging Chloe. Siguro, yun na lang yung title ng episode na to. Wag kayo maging Chloe. Ganon.
Don't be a Chloe, don't be a Karen.
Yes. So, ayun guys, kasi sobrang hirap. And hirap na hirap ako to get out of it.
I think
Kaya,
most people who are in that situation are experiencing the same thing. Kasi sabi ko sa'yo, after I decided, okay, I'm getting out in 2017, it took me 2 more years to come back. I keep coming back. And I keep looking for that. Alam mo yung sa mga abusive relationship, yung maghahanap ka ng one little thing to get you to stay, to get you to decide that it's worth it. Gagayahin ko yung speech ni, who's that basketball player from UST?
I'm not good with names, but I know, the one who
CJ
transferred.
Cancino.
Yeah, the one who transferred, yes.
Sabi nga ni CJ Cancino, bigyan lang ako ng isang reason para magsistay ako eh. That was me. And that's you right now. Pero, once you start making the list, and see there are so much more cons compared to that one tiny pro. Know what you deserve. Be a CJ Cancino. Don't be a Chloe.
Be proud naman, diba, nung sa council.
Yeah. So, that's gonna be another episode.
Fun the story time, pero basically, yun yung test ko on limits din. Kasi sobrang taking a toll on me na yung lahat na nangyayari.
I will try to describe it from my perspective.
Okay, sige, better.
Feeling ko hindi nila magigets pag ikaw nagsabi. It was the junction, it was the most important junction of our academic career. It's when things started getting realer than they've ever been. And we were almost working ourselves to death for ACADS. Couple that with unrealistic demands from the student council. So, Chloe ran for student council because she was dali niya ma-peer pressure, napatakbo siya ng org niya. So,
But then, it was a calling also to serve. But
yeah,
then,
so yun siya martyr siya. Tapos she took it on the most critical part of our degree program. That's where you stop sleeping, you stop socializing, you hold everything else. Like for me, during that sem ata, I didn't go home. Parang most of the time, I never even saw my family during that semester. Things were just so hectic. You add that stress and that demand of academic load to, it was our first time taking electives, right?
Yes.
So we were having 3 commerce classes, 1 major and 2 electives. We also had electives from other degree programs as well as our other required subjects. So it was already a heavy semester. Couple that with the concerns of being in a student council as a research student with no sleep.
In UP.
Diliman.
Take note, in UP, oh my gosh.
Diliman.
It's a different world.
So, basically, stakes got so much higher. And at that point,
mag-add pa ako.
Sige.
It's also a crucial thing for like family-wise and friend-wise because
So many things were
I,
happening in her life during that point.
yeah, sobrang it's
Friendships were
taking a toll.
happening. Her family is going through some issues.
Yeah,
She was barely sleeping. Basically, it was a do or die moment. It was a do or die
yeah.
sim.
At first, I was so sad kasi parang pinasok ko yun eh. So it's supposed to be my responsibility to really push through it. Pero parang after the things that happened after me, like resigning, I was happy that I did. Kasi I gave more time to the people na I should have prioritized and to the things na I should have prioritized. Because, grabe, sobrang tough nung year. Kasi basta start ng year yon, and then that year was really tough because I've lost so many loved ones that year. So I was happy that I gave more time to spend with my family that year. Kasi grabe, sabay-sabay sila. Kaya it
Anyway,
was,
to describe bakit siya kailangang ikwento. They were giving Chloe unreasonable amounts of work when the
hindi naman
people,
giving, it's part eh. It's your responsibility and
yeah, but you're
yun
doing
yun
other
eh.
people's work eh.
Yeah.
Kasi we can survive such heavy workloads if the environment was good.
Ayun din, the environment was really not good for me. Kasi with everything that's happening to me, tapos nadagdag pa yun. So parang, alam mo
And
yun, onti na lang
people
mababaliw na ako.
people were very inconsiderate.
Yeah. Pero kasi I feel so bad kasi nag-iwan din ako ng work. Pero kailangan ko siyang
Here's the thing. So, kaming batchmates
iwanan.
niya, kaming 5, sobrang supportive namin nung tumakbo siya. And then once we saw how she was faring, how she was slowly killing herself, trying to get everything done, kaming lahat came to the consensus na, please quit. We will write your resignation letter for you. Please quit. Kasi it's not
Yeah, it's
sustainable.
to that
And
point.
at that
Yeah.
point, it was very reasonable for at least for me kasi 'di ba I'm the type of person I want to see everything through. It
Mm-hmm.
was very reasonable for me that you quit because you just can't. That whole experience was gonna break you.
Mm-hmm.
I would know. I've
Yeah.
been through that. Ang dami kong ganyan.
Ayoko na siya balikan kasi it gives
It's very
emotions.
stressful. So
Like,
since ayaw na niyang balikan, babalikan natin yan in another
let's,
episode.
yeah,
Let's
let's just
table
move
that for now.
on.
So, I guess that concludes yung sa work for
Yeah.
work relationships. How about for significant others?
Significant others.
Yeah, if you would have a significant
Yeah.
other, ano yung hard
I
limit?
think dito pumapasok yung values mo. As in, kailangan, like, pag pumapasok ka sa isang relationship, kahit ano ba yan, kahit walang label, may label, bago, long term, dapat alam mo na yung values mo. Kasi, in every aspect, kung hindi ka firm on it, wala.
In short, what she's saying is consent.
Yes.
If you know
Yeah.
which things to consent to and which
Mm-hmm.
things you don't want, you have to be firm in saying no. And you have to normalize saying no. Because if you don't
Mm-hmm.
start saying no, that's where abuse happens.
Yeah.
And
True.
I think it's also important to note na abuse happens when there's an imbalance of power. And in relationships, there are power dynamics. Hindi yan mawawala. If you're the type of person na na-realize mo na from my long rant kanina na you're a pushover, and if you undergo or if you enter into a relationship with basically someone na manipulative, someone na hindi understanding, someone whose morals are not good, you're opening yourself up to a world of trouble. And that's just, manood na lang kayo ng Taken. Kasi ilang beses kinidnap yung anak ni Liam Neeson. So, don't ever put yourself in that position. Whether you're a female or a male, whatever you are, don't put yourself in that position. Don't give others the opportunity to see you. I can use her. I can groom her. I can, convince her. And once people start using your emotions as weapons, if you want to break up with someone and they say, pag iniwan mo ako, mamamatay ako, that's a big red flag.
Pero Ate Carmela kasi, mahal ko eh.
I don't care.
I would do anything for him.
That's a problem of our generation and every generation since. Here's the thing. Sasabihin ko na sa'yo, dediretsahin na kita. At 14, 15, 16, how old do people get in relationships right now?
12?
Even Basta at 14, 15, even up to 18, 19, you don't know what you want. You think you love that person but you're not sure. Your brain is not fully developed. And kung hindi mo alam kung sino ka on your own, and I'm looking for a partner who can complete me. That's nonsense. It's literally nonsense. But think of a deeper word for nonsense. It's nonsense for you to say that I love him. I will do everything for him. You're not sure. You're really not sure. Because you don't know what you want. Ako na nga magsasabi, kung hindi ka sure sa college course mo, paano ka magiging sure na you're dating that person for the right reasons? And call me old-fashioned. But if you're dating someone just for the sake of dating someone or for the sake of having a boyfriend or having a girlfriend or having someone to para magpakilig sa'yo, stop.
Okay.
If you're dating someone, better be sure you're ready to marry that person, especially when the both of you do something under the sheets, and be sure na ready kayong ikasal sa taong yan, ready kayong magtayo ng pamilya together. Because if you're not, especially at 12, what was I doing at 12? At 12, I was grade 6. I didn't know what my favorite color was. I didn't even know where I was going to college. I started college at 16. I thought I had my life figured out. Look where I ended up, in a totally different course, happier than I ever thought I would be. And if you start dating people for all the wrong reasons, without your hard limits drawn, without your sense of self fully intact, you're just gonna bring yourself heartache. And
But Ate
hindi lahat
Carmela,
ng
sige ka pala.
heartache recoverable. Sige,
Okay,
go.
but
Represent
ito,
the younger people.
yeah, as a, newbie, rookie, huh? But Ate Carmela, I'm willing to understand him. I'm willing to make amends. And basically yon, ready akong iintindihin siya at to look past the wrong, quote-unquote, wrong things that he did. Kasi mahal ko siya. Kasi I want to make our relationship work.
If you're settling and if there's something wrong you both can't fix, get the hell out of that relationship. It's not worth it in the long run.
Ang hirap po kasi Ate Carmela eh.
But that's life.
Yeah.
And
At saka,
hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na nahihirapan
yun naman yun.
ako kasi ganyan. We promised each other we can do everything together. Us against the world, 'di ba? Kaya nyo bang mag-us against the world pag hindi nyo na kayang pakainin yung isa't isa? Or do you think you're gonna stay? Because the Philippines doesn't have divorce. And the annulment, the process for the dissolution of marriage is really expensive, I wanna tell you. Kung ayaw mong gumastos ng siguro mga 1M max, mas mahal kung mas mayaman kayo. Pero if ayaw mong gumastos ng at least 500,000 in court proceedings alone, just please, for the love of everything that is holy, please do not enter into a relationship unless sure ka na kung ano yung gusto mo at kung sino. Because if you're looking for a person to complete you, that's what your faith is for. A person does not complete you, you complete yourself. Especially if you have mental issues, you have to realize na you have to be stable enough na hindi ka maghahanap ng caretaker. Because I have seen multiple friends na their relationships fail after less than a year because of unsettled differences. And wala yan sa kilig. It's freaking hormones, dude. Like, it's your body making you feel things that are not real. In the end, falling in love is really easy. Staying in love is really hard. And I know that's a really, really trending quote. But I think just like work, you have to make commitments. You have to make time. You have to make plans. And you have to consider your future. Kasi if you're, I'm a very traditional person. If you're dating just to practice for the real thing, then what's the point? Kung alam mo naman palang matatapos kayo, edi tapusin mo na ngayon. Huwag mo na simulan.
But Ate Carmela, I wanna feel the thing, the love, the kilig, and everything that's in between.
What are your friends for? What's your family for? That's not for someone to make you feel. Especially kung alam mong or kung hindi ka niya deserve.
Ayan na, ito na tayo sa deserve then.
Yan tayo sa deserve. Know what you deserve. Kung okay ka lang na living many years from now with a person you can barely stand, then by all means, go ahead. And I'm not telling you to break up with your significant other right now because of, may red flags na lumalabas sa inyo dahil sa
Mm-hmm.
sinasabi ko. But please know what you deserve and draw your lines
Yeah.
very clearly.
Sabihin,
If you don't want to do something, let them know. If they don't take it well, break up with them.
yeah,
Kasi hindi sila yung tama at darating yung tama. Mga adjit kasi
yeah.
kayo, hindi kayo marunong mag-antay.
Yan. Kaya, this is, siguro, ito na yung best way to segue how do we negotiate these limits na to.
Yeah, because I think
That's why you have to communicate. Communication is really key to these things.
yeah, in every relationship, whether it be with your friends, with your family members, with your significant others, even with your spouses, if you have spouses, it's really important for you to let them know what you want or what you need or what you think you need. And it's important to ask them, okay lang ba sa'yo to? Can we talk
Mm-hmm.
about this? The very sign that that person is for you to get married with and whatever. The only reason you should date someone is if they take your needs into consideration and they're willing to talk it out. Kasi ang daming tao ngayon, like with the contemporary world, everyone just wants a good time. And
Yeah.
if you give those memories away, hindi mo na makukuha yun ulit eh. All you'll
Mm-hmm.
be left is regret and heartache and heartbreak, and you'd be thinking years later on a 3 a.m. listening to this podcast na, yeah, why did I do that? Why was I so stupid?
Yeah.
So, like I said kanina, kung hindi mo kayang sabihin kung ano yung gusto mo at ano yung sa tingin mong deserve mo, you're in really big trouble. It's just like a job. If you think you should be paid better because you're excelling and you're doing more work than what was originally intended, I think you should ask for a raise or negotiate your salary at least.
Mm-hmm.
If you think that your org is taking advantage of you, college students, tell them,
Mm-hmm.
this is unfair.
Yeah.
And if they react negatively, ang dami mong recourse dyan. Tell someone in authority about what they did. Or leave. Leaving is the hardest part. But honestly, it's the most rewarding option. When you finally manage to leave and not look back and be happy and be confident, and ang dami mong positive na natulong sa sarili mo from taking the hardest step. That's
Mm-hmm.
when you can say na, okay na pala ako as a person. I can live alone. I can survive. Hindi ko na pala kailangan humingi ng tulong from my parents, from my friends. And
Mm-hmm.
that sense of self-achievement is what's gonna make you proud.
Yes.
So like, kwento mo nung nag-resign ka. Like, what was going through your mind? Like, what did you feel?
At first, I was really, actually, it was relieving because sobrang baon ko na with a lot of work, a lot of emotional baggage, the responsibility that I have joining council. But at the same time, I was also stressed because some people na nandoon sa council are parang friends ko sila.
Close
We've
pa
been
kayo.
together, yeah. As in, we've been through tough times with the election and everything that's come to that point. And I feel so bad leaving my responsibilities to them. But then also kasi, first time ever in my life, inisip ko yung sarili ko and what I was thinking. And it was the best feeling ever. And now, realizing na maybe it was really my path na i-let go yon. Kasi everything that happened after that, I can't imagine myself being in council and experiencing those stuff afterwards. Kasi feeling ko mababaliw na talaga ako. So, ayun. It's really sobrang gaan sa feeling na parang hindi ko pinigilan yung sarili kong to allow. Kasi it's like character development for me. Kasi I never thought of thinking about myself first. It's always trabaho muna. What would others say? How would I make this easier for others? It's never how it's gonna be easier for me. So, ayun. Siguro, sobrang learning experience. Dun ko rin natutunan na tao lang pala ako na hindi ko kaya gawin lahat. I can't please everyone. I can try my best, pero hindi eh. Kasi
I think you're gonna kill yourself trying to please everyone eh.
Tsaka yung burden na yon na may experience mo handling those stuff, sobrang bigat. Kaya I learned dun ko natutunan kung paano ba, kung ano yung kaya kong gawin at ano lang yung dapat kong gawin. So, knowing your role and what work you should do and how much effort you
You
have to
should put.
exert. Yeah, that's everything nakasama dun sa pag-set mo ng limits when it comes to work. Siguro when it comes naman to your family, ito yung medyo na-neglect ko na parang nag-set pala ako ng boundary sa kanila in that situation na hindi na sila yung nauuna. Na inuna ko na yung mga other extracurricular work ko than them. 'Di ba? So parang I was saying earlier na, di pala, I don't know my boundaries with my family. But in that situation, nag-set na ako ng boundaries without knowing it. It's setting boundaries also should be knowing your priorities, kung sino ba yung uunahin mo at paano mo sila uunahin at how much effort yung ibibigay mo para sa kanila. Because that time, mas na-appreciate ko yung pag-set talaga ng boundaries is really a big deal kasi it will make your life so much easier and much more bearable. And sobrang yung atmosphere na, kasi ang trabaho, yes, it's hard, yes, it's toxic, but if you can make it a little lighter, do so. Kasi nandun ka eh. Parang hindi ka naman mawawala ng work. And let's face it, work, that's how you live your life. Dun ka mabubuhay. Ang hirap kaya mabuhay, ang mahal mabuhay pa. So dun ka lang magkakaroon ng income. So if you can make it less toxic, sobrang better. Lalo na if masaya ka pa dun sa ginagawa mo, great! Kaya, guys, setting boundaries and learning how to set boundaries is never too late. But as much as possible, start as early as possible to spare you from the emotional baggage and yung mga taong nasasaktan mo at yung mga time wasted where you can do anything else pa that makes you happier and, enjoy life more.
And I think
So,
it's also important, especially for those who are in college, working in organizations, and our listeners who are already working, and for us as future members of the workforce, to realize na in the end, they need you more than you need them. You can always find work. There will always be work. There will always be someone willing to take you in. But you should know that you're an asset and you deserve something. You deserve whatever you think is right. If you think na you deserve more compensation, or if you think na you deserve to not have to pick off other slack, or, having to do someone else's work, please speak up. I'm always a big encourager of, standing up for yourself. Kasi if we don't stand up for ourselves, for example, we as a country, if we don't stand up for ourselves, or if we hadn't stood up for ourselves, we'd probably still be colonies and we'd probably still be slaves. I think it's really important to have that mindset that if you know what you deserve, you stand up, you rise up. And this is not the secret activist in me because we don't know her. But if you know what you deserve, 9 times out of 10, if you know what you deserve and you ask nicely and you communicate your desires, your wishes, 9 times out of 10, you would have better satisfaction at life, your job, with your colleagues, because you're happy. And I've mentioned this in a job interview na I think I would prefer to work for a company that invests more on its workers, on its employees, rather than make money. And it's the same thing for organizations. I'd like to work for organizations na may pake sa mga miyembro nila rather than use them for their skills and discard them when they think that it's
well, di ka na asset.
if they find the next hottest thing, because I've experienced that and it's not nice. It's really not nice. So I guess the hardest thing ever and the worst case scenario for you asking for what you deserve or what you think you deserve and what you want is they say no, and your environment or your toxic environment continues, and the last recourse is always to leave. But once you do, yung freedom na makukuha mo dun, yung freedom na may experience mo dun, will teach you more about life, about yourself, and will teach you your values more than any other advice could. Kahit pa sabihin ng mga kaibigan mo na umalis ka na dyan sa trabaho mo, toxic yan, or umalis ka na dyan sa org mo, toxic yan, kung ayaw mo, hindi ka alis.
Yeah.
Pero kung ikaw na mismo yung makarealize na, oh, toxic sila, I deserve better, I don't need this in my life, I need to cut this off. And once you start, pag na-experience mo siya once, sobrang addicting nung feeling na you'd be more encouraged to stand up for yourself. most of the time that gives you the best results. It gives you really good results.
Mhm.
So, learn to speak up for yourself. Normalize saying no to things you don't want to. And kung ikaw naman yung other party, make sure you ask before you do anything. Make sure you exercise that same courtesy of ensuring na,
Mhm.
am I overstepping my boundaries? Am I,
Mhm.
parang, are they comfortable with what I'm asking for or what I'm about to do?
Mhm.
And doing those two practices literally would save you so much trauma, so much baggage, and so
Mhm.
much you will not waste.
Okay. So, with this pandemic na parang ang hirap, especially sa families natin, to set these boundaries. So, how? How do we set these boundaries?
I think like just so what I said sa jobs and orgs, just speak up. Let them know na hello, it's okay. So for
Yun nga.
example, Filipinos are very notorious for fat shaming or color
Yes.
shaming. So
Yes.
let them know it's not okay. And if
Yeah.
they don't respect that, keep telling them it's not okay and you don't feel okay with it. Like confrontation is
Yeah.
always best in that case. Kasi if you can't leave your family most of the time, you can't leave your family, you can't just abandon them. Saan ka naman pupunta? Pandemic sis, saan ka maghahanap ng ibang tirahan?
Yeah.
So, you really have to learn how to get along. And if you're the
Communicate.
family member na na-realize mo, guilty ka pala doon na, masyado pala akong bully. Or,
Mhm.
mali na pala yung ginagawa ko. Then please learn how to adjust and learn how to apologize. Men,
Yeah.
apologies do not make you less of a man. It makes you so much more of a man. And
Mas pumapogi kayo doon. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh.
doon kayo magkaka-girlfriend pag nag-apologize kayo.
Yes.
Doon din
If
kayo
you know
mawawalan
how
ng
to.
girlfriend pag di kayo natutong mag-apologize.
Yes.
I guess, at least for
Basta
my
in the
take,
end, sige, go.
yeah, for my take, just let your family know. Ikaw ba? What do you think of, or ano ba naiisip mong ways how to establish boundaries? For example, girl, ito na lang. Wag na sa family. Ako na
Sige.
yun sa family. Ikaw dito.
Okay.
Since work from home lahat, or
Mm.
karamihan, work from home karamihan, na nawawala na yung boundary between the sanctuary of the home as the resting place, as the de-stressing place, and the work where you have to keep focused, where you have to be productive. So, how do you set boundaries naman with your workmates?
Ayun. That's why dito pumapasok yung importance ng space. Like, the space you have for your work and the space you have when you just chill. So, dapat talagang you have to, if before wala kang line between that, ngayon you really have to make a line. Kasi it will set not only your body, but especially your mind na pag dito ako umupo, trabaho lang. But once I step out of this place and go to my bed, everything ends there. Like, this is my me time, chill time. Kaya, creating a space for you to be able to work freely, and kung gusto nyo bang maraming space, or kung gusto nyo bang maraming ilaw, create a space for that, lalo na if it will make you be more productive with your work and it makes it easier. Kasi at first, it was really hard also for me to, separate and work from home. Kasi tambay din ako labas. I prefer to study outside kasi nga wala akong
Mahirap
I
mag-focus
don't-
sa bahay eh.
wala akong boundary talaga between working and studying. Kasi pagdating sa bahay, alam ko, tutulog na ako, kakain lang ako, tutulog na ako. And that's it. Like, my home is the whole house is my chill place. Pero, nung nag-shift nga nung nag-start yung pandemic, nag-lockdown, tapos meron pa tayong schoolwork noon, I really created this space na pag umupo ako sa dining table namin, kasi doon marami akong space to move around, or if umupo ako dun sa may desk sa room ko, mas that work only lang, like nobody can distract me. Mahirap siya gawin kasi lalo na pag yung pagsilip mo doon, higaan na. Mahirap siya. So it takes time, but like parang making it more comfy, and if you see like stuff na makes you be more productive and makes you want to work, go for it. Like, invest on it kasi matagal yan. Matagal na oras ang work, and having quality like chair, table, it will really pay off. Para rin marunong ka rin mag-set ng boundaries na pag humiga ka, tapos may tumawag sa'yo sa like work or org stuff, alam mong hindi mo sila pwedeng i-acknowledge or hindi ka pwedeng tumayo ulit and work on it kasi in-overwork mo na naman yung sarili mo. Burn out ka na naman yan. So, personal space is really important.
Putting a dedicated workspace that's far away from your bed or or hindi mo makikita yung resting place mo. And letting your family know na, hey, this is my workplace. Please do not come bother me while I'm working here. It's very important for you train your mind na, okay, maybe this is like school. Maybe this is like work na once I sit here, I can be more productive and do what I can do there. Because we train our brain through associations. And if you associate your bed as your workplace, hindi ka talaga makakatulog. And I've tried everything short of sleeping pills and the sleeping drinks, the melatonin drinks. But,
Yeah.
being dependent on those also messes up your body's internal balance. So, yeah, I've tried everything. I've tried hypnosis. I've tried setting, certain limits na hindi ako pwedeng tumingin ng messages ng ganito. I have to be offline by this time. And wala, hindi siya gumana. So, I guess tama talaga yung sinabi na separate your workspace from your home space. Because if your workspace starts to invade your home space, your work-life balance goes down the drain. And once your work-life balance goes down the drain, you start overworking yourself. You start getting sick. So, if you prioritize yourself first, and if you take care of yourself and your body because you only have one, there's no replacement. Kahit pa magparetoke ka, walang replacement yan. Start prioritizing yourself. You'll tend to see that over time, you perform better with lesser amount of effort than you used to exert before because you were always tired. So, yun. Ate Chloe, may tanong ako. Kasi sabi mo po, separate workspace. Paano po kung yung problema ko naman po sa work, nagme-message sila past 5 p.m. or kung anong oras man po yung tapos ng shift ko. Tapos, parang na-normalize na po sa company culture na magtrabaho past working hours. So, lagi po kaming overtime pero hindi po kami compensated. Ano pong gagawin ko?
Oh my gosh. You need to, yun, kasi paulit-ulit na sinasabi ni Karmela, sabihin mo, speak up. Kasi wala. As long as pumapayag ka niyan, it's you saying na okay lang yung ginagawa ko and okay lang yung ginagawa mo sa akin. And I don't feel anything about it. And which is so bad. Kasi parang wala, hinahayaan mo na lang yung tao na i-disrespect ka as a person and i-disrespect yung work mo and i-disrespect yung boundaries mo especially. So if gusto mong i-respect ng tao yung boundaries mo, kailangan mo talagang mag-speak up and syempre, respect mo rin sila para ma-address yung problems na yon in a very peaceful is that's not the perfect word.
Let's just go with peaceful.
Peaceful and yung maayos. Yung hindi kayo mag-aaway. Kasi for sure, conflict kapag syempre bubungangaan mo ng kasi ang sama mo or like, kasi mali na yan, ganyan. Basta lahat ng pagtaas ng boses, lahat ng pag-testing ng control, conflict ang result niyan. So, do it in the most respectful way as you see fit to approach it. But you really, really have to approach it.
Ate Chloe, takot po ako kasi baka i-fire nila ako.
Well, if, yun nga, sinabi ni Karmela, asset ka ng company. Isipin mo yun parate. Know your worth. Alam mo kung ano yung magagawa mo at alam mo kung ano yung kaya mo at alam mo kung ano yung nadadala mo para sa company na yon. And if hindi nila ma-recognize yon, it's their loss. Ang daming taong tatanggapin ka. Maybe in a much more nice work atmosphere, work environment, and even with much more respect to you and your work and the recognition. Then bibigay pa yung recognition na you deserve. So huwag mong i-worry. Sige, i-fire ka nila. But if papipiliin naman, ikaw din, imagine, a work environment na tinatapak-tapakan ka lang ng tao, hindi nila ma-recognize kung ano yung worth mo and yung effort na you give versus an work environment na sobrang binibigay yung respeto na you deserve and then the respeto and then the demands na hinihingi mo. 'Di ba? Sobrang sarap nun. So, ikaw na lang mag-think. Syempre, we're just here to, there's so much advice that we can give, pero in the final say, choice mo pa rin yun. Kasi kung gusto mo yun, gagawan mo ng paraan.
Ang
And
akin
parating,
lang, sige, tuloy mo lang.
Sige, go. Basta parating nagagawa ng paraan at kung pag-uusapan nyo, i-communicate nyo well, kaya naman yan ang gawa ng paraan eh.
I think in the end, you do what's best for you. Because what we're saying might not be applicable to you. But I've asked this because I recently made a survey to my working friends and sadly, 1 in 3 are unsatisfied with their jobs. And I've also told them, if you want to share the reasons why, it would be cool. My messages are open. And karamihan sa kanila, work-life balance. They felt underappreciated or unappreciated at all sa work.
Overwork for sure.
They're also overworked and sobrang
Mhm.
walang work-life balance. And I've told this friend who is in that situation na
Mhm.
hindi naman okay na, the pay is okay. I guess he likes the company, and pero yun nga,
Mhm.
wala talagang work-life balance, and sometimes ang toxic nung environment niya. And I told him, pandemic, so I can't advise you to resign. If
Mhm.
you're the breadwinner, especially if you're the person providing for your
Especially.
family, I know how
Mhm.
scary it is, the thought of not having a job. Well, I'm sorry,
Mhm.
I don't know, but I can imagine. Because
Mhm.
as we've mentioned, we're in such a privileged position eh.
Sobra.
So, wait
And we
lang.
recognize our privileged position.
Basically, I'm not making you or telling you na, or wag sanang dumating sa point na magme-message kayo feeling so bad na pinag-resign nyo kasi ako, now I can't feed my family. And no, that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is, please consider what's best for you. And, these are some tips na we've learned so hard along the way. I mean, while leaving is such a freedom, and it's something na you might want to consider, especially if you've reported this to your boss and you've raised it up with human resources and walang proper action na nagawa. If you're gonna resign, look for a replacement job, especially since things are not as okay as they are. Please don't resign unless you have savings or buffer money to tide you and your family over for the next couple months while you're searching for a job. And most importantly, tanungin niyo muna yung mga taong nakadepende sa inyo. For example, your team, baka naman kasi kayang ayusin. Like Chloe said, baka kayang ayusin internally
Mhm.
ng walang conflict, ng walang drama, ng walang bloodshed even. So, while we're encouraging you to resign, please do it only if you think that's what's best for you, and please only do it as a last resort.
Yeah,
So,
this is in all aspect, like whether it be a position you're holding in an organization or a position you're holding in your school, class task or project, ganun.
and
It's
at the,
okay
mhm.
to wait, last na. It's okay to step down or take a step back for yourself for you to be able to take 2 steps forward. Oh my gosh, what a
Proud of
preach.
you. Pero yun,
Diba?
in the end, as for me personally, I would rather be paid a little less with a supportive team in an
Mhm.
environment that cares about me than be
Yeah.
paid so high. Pero ang taas din ang kailangan mong gastusin dahil sa medical bills, because of chronic
Mhm.
stress, and all the things that you shouldn't be experiencing. And
Yeah.
while we are preaching, please do note that we have not yet worked in the corporate world unless you
So
count our
maybe
internship. So we're
this is
going
from,
this is our perspective is maybe a little bit idealistic, but
but then no, it's from perspective ng siguro experience natin with org work. Because if
yeah.
org work is also work.
Yeah, but
Especially,
yun nga ulit, we're coming from a position of privilege, and we acknowledge that. We know that na sometimes you have no choice but to suffer through a dead end job to put food on the table. And we admire you for being the one to sacrifice, but there are some things na you shouldn't have to sacrifice just to earn. And if you keep on looking, maybe there will be a place na would honor your boundaries, honor your what you think you deserve and what you're asking from them, and at the same time give you a decent compensation package for all the hard work you've been doing. Because even if you're doing menial work, kahit naglalaba ka lang or kahit nagiging katulong ka lang ng someone helping out your family with their bills, you're an asset to whoever is employing you, and it took time for you to learn those skills. So wag mong maliitin yung sarili mo saying na janitor lang ako, grab driver lang ako, hindi pa naman kasi ako tapos mag-aral wala naman akong pinag-aralan. But skills, and especially for not to siguro to compare college grads with people who weren't able to finish their schooling, but pinaghirapan mo yan for how many years, whether natapos mo yung pag-aaral mo o hindi, you also took time to learn those skills, and you have to be proud because you're contributing. You're so much better than people who stay in front of their cell phones all day and commenting, DDS kayo. O kaya mga dilawan kasi kayo. It's more productive. You're doing a really good job for the country and for the economy and of course for your family and yourself. And we would like to commend you for that. So we recognize na we really are in a position of privilege and gets namin yun. So if you have any other suggestions for, how to deal with trying to negotiate or communicate your limits and your boundaries to people in school, people at work, please make sure to comment that down below to help other people learn from your experiences as well. And if you're on Anchor, if you're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever podcast platform you're listening to, Spotify, make sure to comment on our page to share your learnings or comment on our Instagram. Let people know, as in, go on to our socials, let people know ano ba yung hindi namin naisama, ano yung sa tingin yung mali kami, ano yung sa tingin yung mas mag-work na suggestion for people who are going through the same difficulties as we've mentioned before.
So basically, you were just saying that we should normalize setting boundaries, and to set these boundaries, communication is really key. So ask before you do anything. Speak up about how you're feeling, especially when you feel wrong. Communicate and make sure you're comfortable with other people and how other people treat you, because respect and courtesy is key.
And if you're gonna take just one thing from us, it's that normalize telling other people, specifically people in a position of power, na this is what you think you deserve and give them good reasons why. Normalize asking for what you want. Normalize not settling for anything less than you deserve.
Yeah, so yan. Learn how to say no also. No. It's two words. Two words. Two letters, one syllable, very, very powerful.
It's such a small word, but sobrang powerful niya. Countries can go to war because of the word no. So, unlock that power within yourself.
Yes.
So, this has been a very long, very juicy, very conversation. It's been a very long episode. If you made it this far, comment Strong Independent Person 2020. Yes. Comment nyo yun on all our socials if you've reached this far.
Yes.
And, yeah.
For more episodes on navigating the adult world with us, don't forget to hit the subscribe and follow button on Spotify and Google Podcasts. And please rate us on Apple Podcasts and
like this YouTube video. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to turn on your notifications so you could be in the know when we upload a new episode. And
we gotta get them validation.
Check our socials. We'll be posting more exclusive content there. On Facebook and Instagram, you can find us at Yugto the Podcast. So tune in next Monday for more in-depth stories with our experiences, the good, the bad, and the ugly regarding setting limits, boundaries with others, specifically focusing on working with impossible groupmates. Once again, this is Chloe and Karmela, and you have been listening to the Yugto Podcast.
Pagod na ako.
Same.
Bye-bye.